Sir, I welcome you with Professor Bharatendra Singh, the co-coordinator of this program, and Professor in the Commerce. Dear participant, it is a great privilege for us. Today morning, we are going to start our first session with a very eminent speaker, Professor Tez Pratap Singh. Professor Tez Pratap Singh is a professor in the Department of Political Science, Banaras University, BHU, a eminent writer and sir specialization is international study. Many times sir have invited for the giving the debate and lecture in the Rajya Sabha TV, and sir have written many papers and many articles on the international relation with the China, and recently sir have given one big talk on the Nepal elections. So, sir, with this, sir, we are very happy and fortunate to listen to you. And today, sir is going to talk about internationalization of the higher education. Sir is a academic and member of many national level committee. So, in the light of the NDP also, sir is very participative and actively participate in different platform. So with this, sir, I welcome you on behalf of the Mizoram University HRDC Center, Mizoram University, and our personal and on behalf of the Professor Bharatendra Singh as co-coordinator. And now handing over the session to you for your lecture, sir.
Thank you so much, Professor Manoj Kumar Verma ji, for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to interact with the participants of this orientation and refresher program organized by HRDC Mizoram University. Professor Manoj Kumar ji, Professor Bharatendra Singh ji, and all the participants. I can see the number, probably more than 42 have joined. So, my topic which is given to me, that is globalization of higher education. Recently, we all are aware that the University Grant Commission has come up with a circular announcing how this internationalization of higher education in India will be promoted. So before talking about the new draft UGC policy regarding the international universities, overseas campuses in India, I will start from, since I'm a student of international politics, international relations. So I will start from my area, that is the globalization of higher education and internationalization of higher education. Both these terms, globalization of higher education and internationalization of higher education, are being used as interchangeable terms here. I make subtle distinction between the two. So firstly, when we talk about the globalization, as we all know, it is a market-driven process. So globalization has been defined as the unrestricted movement of the goods, capital, technology, ideas, services without any restriction throughout the world. So that is that has been that process of unrestricted mobility has been called globalization. So when we apply the globalization, so this education has also become a commodity which is moving from one part of the world to all part of the world. We know that when the GATT framework was there, General Agreement on Trade and Tariff, so the GATT itself accepted services as a commodity. So when services become commodities, so services can be traded here. And then the two most important services which have been identified, the GATT and by the market, is the health and education. So health and education are the two primary services. And since GATT recognizes it as a commodity, so like any commodity, the health and education can be traded, it can be bought and sold. And the GATT, as we all know, has been taken over by the WTO, World Trade Organization. So now the WTO recognizes like GATT, this health and education as a commodity. So under the globalization process, the commodification of education has happened. When we talk about the internationalization, in internationalization, the health and education both remain services, and they are not governed by the market. So their basic purpose is it is a service, and this service should be made accessible, made available to all. That is why at the global level, many institutions of global governance, they talk about the UNICEF for education, World Health Organizations for health. They talk about that the health and education should be accessible to all. And here, when we here the market, not the market, but the state has to play the important role, because market will come into the picture as long as the profit is there. So market is always driven by the profit motive. So if profit is not there, definitely market will not enter into the picture. So when we talk about the internationalization, when the UNICEF talk about the education, and when the WHO talks about the health, so they talk about it says that this affordable health and affordable education that can be accessed by one and all. So when we talk about the internationalization as far as Government of India is concerned, the main objective of the internationalization of higher education is two. One is to improve the quality of higher education in this country. We all know that the quality is probably not that much good as it should be, and probably because of that reason, you know that how poorly our universities and institutions of higher education has been ranked by the global rating agencies. So one of the objective of the internationalization of higher education, even when the National Education Policy 2020 talks about the internationalization of higher education, so they say that by internationalization of higher education in India, they aim at improving the quality of the higher education being imparted in this country. So that is the one objective. Second objective is the India has in the past has been the Vishwaguru, the Jagat Guru, and India has been a popular education destination. As we all know that Nalanda, Takshila, Vallabhi, Vikramshila, these have been the institutions of international repute, and they have been attracting students from all over the world. And at that time, India was called as the Jagat Guru, Vishwaguru. So by internationalizing higher education, the Government of India also aims at regaining its old position of Vishwaguru, the Jagat Guru. So these are the twin objectives, improving the quality of higher education at home, and secondly, to regain the old position of Vishwaguru and Jagat Guru. So with these two objectives, the internationalization of higher education has been launched in this country. And then when we talk about the National Education Policy 2020, it clearly talks about curbing the commercialization of health. So they explicitly talk about that by internationalizing this commercialization of higher education has to be curbed. And NAP said, and other Government of India document also said earlier, that the overseas campuses which will have their campus in India, the foreign universities which will have their campuses in India, so they cannot repatriate their profit generated in this country, because we all know that India is a very lucrative market, even from education perspective also. Because we know that after China, India is the second country which is sending its student abroad for higher education. So India is a lucrative market, is a vast market, and we all know that recently we have overtaken China also as the most populous country. So India is a very attractive market for all products, including the education also. So global university, all those global institutions who are in the profession of imparting education and making profit through education, so they are also interested in India. But to curb the commercialization, because the Government of India, the NEP and other earlier documents have also has placed various restrictions that the profit generated here can't be sent it back. The profit generated here has to be spent on creating infrastructure and improving the quality of education in this country. And so by internationalization, our objective is different. But when we talk about the globalization, so when we're talking about the globalization, it is always a market-driven process. So it's a profit-driven process. So unless and until profit is not there, no global institutions will take any interest. And precisely because of this reason, when the UGC recently announced I think last month they announced a draft policy for international universities who are interested in starting their campuses in this country. So it has changed many things. Now they have allowed that the profit which will be generated in India, that can be sent back to the home country. So restriction on the repatriation of the profit has been lifted by the new draft policy. And the second major change is that now the government will leave these institutions free. They can have their own curriculum. They can have their own course, and they can have their own salary structure, and they can have their own fee structure. So government of India will not be intervening. The regulatory authority in India will not be intervening in the fixation of the fee structure, in the fixation of the salary of the faculty. So a large amount of autonomy, the freedom has been granted to the international universities who are interested in starting their campuses here. One more departure has been made by this draft policy announced by Professor Jagdish Kumar, who happens to be the chairman of the University Grant Commission. That the NEP 2020 only allows 100 leading institutions of the world. But now this draft policy say that not 100 but 500 top universities of the world, the top institutions of higher education will be allowed to open their campuses in India. And it also says further that if any institutions which has not been ranked by global ranking agencies, and if that institutions happens to be the premium institutions, well-reputed institutions in that country, so they can also be allowed. So by using this class of eminent educational institutions in their home country, so now government of India has adopted very liberal policy, extreme liberal policy in attracting and inviting the international universities to have their campuses in India. So because the experience have been that the global universities who are top ranked, they are not showing much interest in coming to this country. And it is obvious also, if they are not allowed to repatriate their profit, so how come they can come here? Because they are not coming to India for charity purpose. They are coming to India to exploit the vast Indian market and make profit here. And if the repatriation of profit is not allowed, so naturally they will not be coming. Probably this was realized by the government of India, and that is why the UGC draft policy says that they can repatriate the profit back home. So I'm hopeful that probably after this announcement of this draft policy, many reputed global institutions will start their campuses in India. Now, further talking about the globalization or internationalization of higher education. So, there are four instruments, there are four mechanisms through which this globalization, the internationalization of higher education is happening. So, first instrument, first mechanism is the mobility of the students. Yeah. So, the UNICEF says that more than 10 million students are moving from one country to another country in search of higher education, seeking higher education in other countries. So more than 10 million students are crossing the international border for higher education. Yeah. And among this 10 million, the largest contributor is China, and closely followed by India. So India and China, they are the largest contributor to this students moving abroad for higher education. But here a trend has been observed that Chinese students now are going in less number. So their trajectory is not upward, it is going downward. Yeah. But as far as India is concerned, the trajectory is still upward. We are sending large number of students. The number has not come down. And as we have overtaken China in population, I don't think the day is far off when India will overtake China as far as students going abroad for higher education is concerned. So every year, this recent the government report said that every year 3 lakh students are going abroad for higher education, sir. And approximately 1 million students are there studying in different countries. As far as India is concerned, and in fact, globally also, the most popular destination for higher education is English-speaking countries, because necessarily the English has emerged as a international language, global language. So English-speaking countries has advantage over other countries. So largest number of students are going to America. America attracts almost a quarter of the international students who are going abroad for higher education. And after America, the United Kingdom, which is the origin of the English, etc., that is the second country. So UK comes after United Kingdom, or after United States of America. But the gap between USA and UK is very large. Not UK is closely behind the US. US is far ahead of UK. And then other countries which are in the line, they are Canada, they are Australia, they are New Zealand. So these are the countries which are attracting large number of these students. America, followed by UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, etc. So these are the countries that are attracting the largest number of students. But that doesn't mean that French-speaking countries or German-speaking countries or Russian-speaking countries are at disadvantage. France attracts around 10% of the global students who are going for higher education abroad, and large number of students to France are coming from Francophone Africa. As we know that the large part of Africa was the colony of France. So there is the Anglophone Africa and there is the Francophone Africa. So Anglophone Africa, they are preferring England and other English-speaking countries. And Francophone Africa, they prefer France because France, they are familiar with the French language. Apart from Francophone Africa, the Middle East countries also, they are also preferring France rather than other countries. So quite significant number of these students, 10% is fairly large number. They are going to our French universities for higher education. The Germany is also not far behind. They are also attracting around 9% to 10%, almost equal to France. And Germany is attracting largely students from Central Asian, Central European countries. So Central European countries, they prefer Germany because of probably its vicinity to the Central Asia is very closer to Germany, etc. So Central European countries are preferring Germany rather than France or England. And then Russia is also attracting students because we all know that Soviet Union was a huge country, large country. There were 15 republics were there. Now all these 15 republics have become independent countries. So since during Soviet time, they were taught Russian language, so they are familiar with the Russian language. So these countries of former Soviet Union, now independent countries, they are preferring Russia as a destination for higher education. Now China is also emerging as an important destination for higher education. Now China has a deep pocket. As we know, that China is the second largest economy. They have huge trade surplus and they're sitting over the large amount of money. So China, since it's had deep pockets, so China is providing the liberal fellowships, scholarships, and providing education, a quality education at a very affordable cost, at a very low cost. And their educational infrastructure are also excellent because they have money. So now many Asian countries and African countries who are in search of low-cost education, low-cost higher education, they are preferring China. So China is also emerging and an important player in this market of global higher education. Japan, Korea, they are also important. Australia, we all know, is an important destination. And the case of Australia is very unique because Australia has created so many institutions of higher learning, not as per their need, but as per their market. They are if Indian and Chinese students stop going to Australian universities, half of the Australian universities has to be closed down. They have created these universities for overseas students, mainly Indian and Chinese. And that is why you can recall when during the Corona period, when Canberra, the Australia has accused China that probably this coronavirus is a artificial virus and it has been created in Chinese Wuhan lab, and probably deliberately it has been released from there. So they have they have demanded, Australia has demanded an international inquiry committee should be constituted to investigate how this coronavirus originated. But immediately China hit back, and the Australian ambassador in the Chinese ambassador in Australia and held a press conference in Canberra and threatened Canberra, threatened Australia that if you are labeling these kind of baseless allegation against China, the China has its own way of punishing Australia. And among the punishment they announced, one punishment was the Chinese student will not come to Australia for higher education, and it will affect Chinese higher education institutions. And other threat were there that they will not import the primary commodities, they will not import the Australian beef, farm product, wheat, and minerals, etc. So there were other threats. Anyway, but this boycott of Australian university was also one of the threat. So Australia, I said, as I'm saying that they have created many institutions just to make money through higher education, through students who study over there. New Zealand has done the same. So now it is an important source of revenue, because when students go abroad and take admission in those universities, not only they spend money on fee and other, they are also spending a lot of money on their living expenses that stimulates their economy. So it is a win-win situation for the countries which are attracting the students. So everybody is interested in attracting the overseas student to their country for higher education. So this is the global scene about student migration from one country to another country. Now, finally, I'm coming to India. The position is very pathetic, very sad, because India, being such a large country, being the third largest economy in terms of PPP, power purchasing parity terms, and GDP terms, fifth largest economy. And India is an important player in the field of commerce, business, etc. And India's economic muscles has definitely increased in the contemporary world. But as far as the higher education scene is, it is very dismal. We attract only less than 50,000 students in India for higher education. It is a very small number. We send more than 3 lakh every year students abroad, and our more than 1 million students are studying abroad. But in India, only less than 50,000 are here. That is very poor number. And if you look at these 50,000 also, the largest contributor is neighboring Nepal. So Nepal and the other countries of South Asia. So Nepal is the largest contributor. Around quarter of the students, overseas students, foreign students, are from Nepal. The second major country sending its students is Afghanistan. We all know that Afghanistan, we are offering very liberal fellowships, etc. So Afghans are occupying the second positions here, and then comes Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, and very few European and Americans are coming to India for higher education. So the government of India is worried about this thing, and they have the government policy. They have announced that this 50,000 has to be quadrupled. Yeah, 4 times it has to be increased by 2025. So this is a number from 50,000 to 2 lakh. That is very ambitious project, and it was announced in 2020 that within 5 years, so that is coming after 2 years, the number should be increased 4 times from 50,000 to 2 lakh. But that is really an ambitious project. But even then, probably the number will rise. India has certain advantage, and we can market it. As we all know, that yoga has become popular throughout the world. So many foreign people are interested in knowing about yoga. So yoga can be marketed, and yoga can be a source which can attract overseas students, etc., who can come here and learn yoga, because the importance of yoga has been realized by one and all. And now yoga has also been declared as a International Yoga Day. The second is Ayurveda, because Ayurveda is alternative medicines, and now everyone is looking with a lot of optimism and hope towards Ayurveda. And in this Corona period, as we all know, the importance of Kadha. The Kadha has become a global term, international term. Now everybody knows Kadha. Kadha, which nobody knew before Corona, but now everybody knows this. This yogic preparation, this Ayurvedic preparation, this Kadha has become globally popular, and it has been effective in increasing the immunity of the persons without having any side effect. So Ayurveda can be the another source which can attract the foreign students. And the third is the Sanskrit language. Sanskrit language, as we all know, is the most scientific language in this world, and the Sanskrit based on Panini's grammar. So in the future, even Germans are also working a lot on this. That how the Sanskrit can be made a computer language, because the other languages are not that much scientific yet. So Sanskrit is being studied for future use in science and technology, computer and etc., artificial intelligence. So Sanskrit can be another area of study. Germans are doing more research in Sanskrit than India, and it's very sad. One German professor came to my university, Banaras Hindu University, to learn Sanskrit, and he was disappointed when he discovered that Sanskrit in Banaras Hindu University is being taught in Hindi and English. So he said, if I have to study Sanskrit in Hindi and English, so I will prefer to study Sanskrit in Heidelberg, in Germany. He said, I had come here to study Sanskrit in Sanskrit. But even he was disappointed to find out that even in VHU also Sanskrit was not taught in Sanskrit. Sanskrit was taught in either Hindi or English. Anyway, he came here for 6 months, but after 1 month he went back to Germany. He said, I will study Sanskrit in Heidelberg, and that is very important center for Sanskrit learning in Germany. So Sanskrit can be an important source. So these are the areas of strength. Government of India is already focusing on these areas: the Ayurveda, the Sanskrit, the Yoga. So also here, the world can learn from India, and world is interested in knowing about these things. So I think if these are marketed well, the number of students who are coming here can be increased. So now moving, this is the one component of internationalization or globalization of higher education. So the another component, the another instrument, the mechanism is the movement of the faculty, the mobility of the faculty. So faculty mobility is also important. So we all know that the best and brightest of Indians, they are not teaching in India. It's very sad. The best and brightest of Indians are teaching abroad. They are teaching in American universities, in the European universities. And the Indians who are winning the Nobel Award, we discovered that they are either in America or in England. The Venkat Raman got the Nobel Award in chemistry. He was in probably Oxford or Cambridge. Purana got, he was in America. Subramaniam got, he was in America. Except C.V. Raman, all those people who got Nobel Award, They were working in some other foreign university there. Amartya, and they don't even hold the Indian citizenship. They have surrendered their Indian citizenship. The only exception is Amartya Sen. He still retains the Indian citizenship. But we all know Amartya Sen is most of the time abroad and very less time in India. But he holds Indian citizenship and he has been awarded the Bharat Ratna also. Anyway, so the point I'm making, the best and brightest of India, they are teaching abroad. And the same thing applies to most of the countries, because we all know that America is attracting the best and brightest from all over the world. And that is the strength of America. Because when the best and brightest are going to America, naturally they contribute to American economy. America controls the research and development. The R&D is controlled by America. They are no longer much interested in manufacturing. Manufacturing, as we all know, had been outsourced to third world countries, to China, to India, to Southeast Asia, etc., etc. They're focusing on R&D, innovation, innovative technology. Now Trump and others are focusing on manufacturing also, because they have lost job, etc. But America is still retaining its control over innovative technology. All the innovative technologies, with few exceptions, have been developed in America only. And these innovative technologies are not being developed by Americans. It is being developed by scientists, researchers coming from India, China, Korea, from all part of the world. Americans are also there. Even some Europeans are also there. But large number of the best and brightest Asians, Africans, and they are going and working in their laboratories, in their research. So now, this faculty movement, the teachers movement is now every country is promoting. They are trying to bring back the best and brightest of their country who are working abroad to their own country. So China has been successful here. As I said, China has a deep pocket. So China offered more than double salary. They offered excellent infrastructure, lab facilities, etc. And the Chinese succeeded in bringing back many overseas Chinese who are working abroad to come back to China and work there in their laboratories and develop some innovative technologies. The China's effort has also yielded some result. You see, the Huawei succeeded in developing the fifth generation telecom technology, this 5G, we call it 5G. So Huawei was competing with the Western firms, the Americans, and probably Huawei left America behind in developing the 5G technology. Even America also got alarmed by this development. And this has been done by the foreign trained Chinese scientists who came back to their home country, and they have been helpful in developing in these technologies. So China has been successful. India has also started a program like China. Gyan, they have launched a global initiative network, something like that. So in government of India has also come up with many programs, but since we can't compete with China as far as money is concerned, we don't have that much money, and we all know that the funding of the education is also an important issue, because the government is focusing more on the social sector in providing free health, free educations, and free rations, etc. So naturally, the government cannot allocate that much money which China has done. So these Indians working abroad, working in America, working in European countries, they have been very slow in responding. Large number of them have shown indifference. They have not come back to India. They are still there. Very few have come, and they have come out of patriotism, out of nationalism. And now our Prime Minister said that this is not brain drain, but this is brain gain. So we are gaining from them. Anyway, it is also true that all those Indians who have gone abroad, they are contributing a lot to this country in form of remittances. India attracts almost $100 billion in form of remittances. That is the highest in the world. There is no other country which attracts this much revenue through remittances. Last figure I saw, it was before Corona, it was 89 billion. Yeah, so I think it must be reaching 100 billion. So this provides support to our economy, because this 90 billion is a huge amount, and these money is being sent through remittances by Indians who are working abroad, and they are blue collar worker also, like people working in the Gulf, etc. So it is not only contributed by the scientists and researchers, etc. The common, the semi-skilled or unskilled laborers are also contributing a lot to this $90 billion, because these poor people who are semi-skilled or unskilled, probably whatever they earn, they send entire money back to their home, yeah, because their family is dependent on them. Anyway, that is a different issue. So, so this is the teacher. Now, many innovative methods have been started to promote the mobility of the teachers from one country to another country. So all countries have started the faculty exchange program. Mizoram University also must be having the faculty exchange program. In faculty exchange program, the teachers are going to foreign countries, and some foreign countries are also coming back to this country. So there are various faculty research exchange program with various countries. Almost all countries, India has some kind of MoU with all countries, where the faculties from India go abroad, and from abroad come India. So this faculty exchange program, the teacher exchange program, is another mechanism through which this movement of the teachers is happening. So, and there are various kinds of fellowships are there. The Deptt Fellowship is there, British Council Fellowship there, Fulbright Fellowship is there. There are many kind of fellowships are there. So in the through various kinds of fellowships also, Indians are going, the Indian faculty, Indian teachers are going, not Indian, I'm saying all the teachers are going from one country to another country. Now, the collaborative research has also started. In this collaborative research also, the teachers are moving from here to there, because it is a cooperative project, research project, so collaborative research project. So they are coordinating with the researchers, scientists from different countries. So here also the movement is happening here. So now a large number of teachers and faculty, they are no longer confined to their national boundaries. They are moving from one country to another country. So now it has become a common practice. And now the private universities in India also, you must have seen the many private universities in India. They are inviting the many foreign professors to teach in India, and they are offering very lucrative salary also. Probably the Jindal, Asoka, and others, Sunadar, they have couple of the foreign professors also, and that is happening in all the countries. So now a large number of foreign nationals are employed as a faculty in different countries. Now the third important mechanism, the instrument through which this internationalization, globalization is happening, is the institution mobility. So now not only students are moving, the faculty are moving, even the institutions are moving. And this institutional mobility is now many foreign universities are having their overseas campuses. So now in this, when the institutions are moving, so now a new phenomena has come that is called educational hub. So many education hub has been created here. It is a result of globalization. It is a recent growth. So the countries of Middle East, West Asia, the countries of East Asia, Southeast Asia, they are in this business of creating education hub. So I will start from West Asia. So Abu Dhabi, Doha, and Dubai. So these are three countries. These are three places. Abu Dhabi and Abu Dhabi is in UAE, Dubai, UAE, and Doha, this Qatar. So at these three places, the education hub have been created. In the education hub, the government of these countries have provided various kind of facilities to foreign universities, the leading universities, to have their campuses in their country. They have provided free land, they have provided them very liberal loan, etc., so that they can open their campuses in their country. And because of this liberal grant of free land, liberal loan facility, etc., so many international institutions have grabbed this opportunity and have opened their campuses in Doha, Abu Dhabi, and Dubai. Same thing, whatever this West Asia has done, the Malaysia has done also the same thing. Yeah. In Malaysia, there is a Kuala Lumpur. This education hub has been created where many overseas universities are having their campuses at one place. Even our own Manipal have their campus in Dubai. They have their campus in Kuala Lumpur. Singapore is another place where education has come up. Hong Kong is another place. So Hong Kong, Kuala Lumpur, and Singapore. So these are the places who have succeeded in creating the education hub. Now this idea of education hub is being followed, imitated, replicated by many countries, but probably they have not been that much successful. And China has also been trying to attract the overseas campuses to have their campus in their country. But China has promoted this rather than independent institutions. China has insisted that they must enter into the local collaborations. Yeah. So overseas universities, if they want to have their campus in China, so they have to enter into collaboration with the universities of their country. So a different kind of mechanism they have adopted here. So now these institutions are also moving from one country to another country, and this institutional mobility is another source through which this internationalization and globalization of higher education is happening. And these educations are advantageous in few sense, because of the 9/11, there was Islamophobia and hatred against Muslims, etc. They were targeted. So many Muslim students felt insecure to go to America and Europe for higher education. So their interest was that the same institutions would come to their country so that their children can study in their own country, in their own cultural zone, in their own comfort zone, rather than going abroad for higher education, because they might be the victim of Islamophobia and hate crime, etc. So this has been another reason for promoting this education hub in these places. And many wealthy these West Asian students, rather than going abroad, they prefer to have their education in their country itself. And then India is also here. We will also very briefly talk about India. In many Indian universities are also having their campuses outside here. Here, MIT, if you go by the number of the institutions which has been opened abroad, so probably MIT is the leading institution. MIT has more than 50 overseas branches. They have their branch in all West Asian countries. They have in Doha, Dubai, Qatar, all countries there. And because a large number of Indian expatriates are there, because if you see the population of Kuwait, 2 lakh is the local population, and 8 lakh is the overseas population. Even Indian itself are outnumbering the local Kuwaitis. So large number of Indians are there, large number of Pakistanis are there. It's very strange that 2 lakhs are native Kuwaiti population and 8 lakhs are overseas population. And in this overseas population, India is the largest. So here in these West Asian countries, large number of Indians are working over there. So their children also take admission in the institutions like MIT, like Manipal, like D.Y. Patil, like many private institutions. And even IGNOU has also opened its campuses offering the distance education to some countries. So India is also in this business of opening these branches outside, and mainly private universities are doing well in this field, particularly Manipal, MIT, DY Patil, and etc. Some others are also entering in this business, and West Asia and Southeast Asia offer a lucrative market for institutes of higher education in private higher education in India. So this about institutions, and now finally I'm coming to the movement of the courses. There is mobility of the courses also. So now the courses are also moving from one country to another country. So now, one more thing I forgot. While is talking about the mobility of the institution, so there are in the two ways this mobility is happening. One is the universities or institutions are having their independent campuses. Another is entering into collaboration, and so they call it their branch campuses. Here now, finally coming to the courses. So courses are also moving from here to there. So the universities have entered into the collaboration with the different countries, offering the twinning course. What is the twinning course? Twinning course is getting increasingly popular. Now, in twinning course, many universities, particularly private institutions, they have entered into agreement with the foreign universities. So suppose that it is a 6-semester course. So 4 semester they will study in their own country, and for 2 semester they will go abroad. So either 1 semester or 2 semester are equally divided. If it's a 2-year course, 1 year in India, 1 year abroad. So in this way, in the twinning program, so 2 universities are giving the degree to 1 student, and with the 1 student is studying a particular part of time in one country, and a particular part of time in another country. So in some cases, the joint degree is given by the 2 universities, and in some cases, a separate degree is given by the separate universities. So now this twinning is the another mechanism through which the courses are also moving from one country to another country. And a large number of students are large number of institutions, universities, they are sending their students abroad for few time, for 1 semester or 2 semesters, etc. So it is your happening. Just I was looking at the message. Probably you have been asked to write your questions. Anyway, just tell me, because I should not exceed the time. So when I have spoken long, just tell me so that I can conclude. Yeah? Just tell me before 5 minutes, so that I can conclude properly. So these are the 4 mechanisms: the students mobility, faculty mobility, the institution mobility, and the courses mobility, through which the globalization or internationalization of higher education is happening. Now a new phenomena has come with that. I will conclude this mobility of the education. That is the MOOC, massive online courses. So now this MOOC has come as a very effective alternative to the traditional education. Now in the MOOC, so any student can join this MOOC, massive online courses, from any part of the world to any course. And now many edutech companies have come. Edutech companies have come in, and even in India also you have many. MzU is there, Unacademy is there, global level Coursera is there. So many at the global level, at the national level, you find that many digital universities have come up. And now Government of India has also, a parliamentary legislation has been passed. Now India is also opening a digital university. So very soon they will have the digital university. So now future is going to be the digitalization of the education. Even UGC has also come a draft policy before Corona that 30% of the classes will be held online. It was opposed by all faculty and etc. But which was opposed before Corona became a reality and became a necessity during the Corona period. Not only 30%, but 100% education became online. And so even this HRDC course, which you earlier used to be offline and in person, now it has become online everywhere. Now I don't think any HRDC is conducting in-person courses. They are have become 100% online. So now the education have from in-person from offline has become online. The massive online courses, that is MOOC, it is the common trend. It's everywhere. Many business companies have also entered into the picture. They are making huge money by offering the digital education. So probably the digitalization of education is the future. One day, educationist had made this prediction that after 100 years, the brick and mortar universities will come to an end. And he has said that the only 10 leading brick and mortar universities will survive and rest will disappear. He was using the argument given by Joseph Schumpeter, the creative destruction, that like PCO, like fixed telephone, these universities will also disappear from the picture and it will be replaced by the online education, by digital education. So, and the convenience of the digital education is that students can study at the comfort of their home without moving and without going anywhere. So he has made this prediction based on this thing that future is the digitalization and probably only 10 leading universities, brick and mortar universities will survive, rest will disappear. Using the Schumpeterian theory of creative destruction, when the new technology comes, it destroys the old technology, etc. But I don't agree with this view because when distance education started, correspondence courses started in 60s, 70s. So even the same prediction was made that that now the student will prefer distance education, the correspondence education, rather than going for traditional universities, etc. But nothing has happened. Now, no educationist is saying that these correspondence courses, this distance education is threatening the traditional system. It has become, it is a part of the education system and it exists at the periphery, not at the core. Yeah. So in no way it is threatening the traditional university system. And now see the number of universities has gone up manifold. This at global level also, at national level also. We know that in India the number of universities has gone up more than 1,000. And it is still going up rather than coming down. Yeah. So as a distance education, the correspondence course did not threaten the traditional universities, the brick and mortar universities. In the same way, the digital challenge has come, it will also disappear like this distance and it will remain. Yeah. So as distance education is one source of education, it exists. There will be another source that will be the digital education. But I don't think the traditional university will disappear from the global scene as some educationists have predicted. Finally, coming to this thing, because I'm talking about the globalizations of education and international education, and no talk of globalization and international education will be complete if you are not talking about the ranking of the universities, ranking of the education, because it is also a product of globalizations. Because globalizations believe in quality marking, the hallmark, the various kinds of brand. Brand is important here. So even brand is also bought and sold. Many people are just selling the brand, buying the brand. Many global consumer item sellers, they are not manufacturing. Simply, they are putting their brand and selling it there. So brand has become so important here. So now this branding of the education has also become an important business, an important issue. So now all the universities are in this mad race of getting ranked, getting a higher ranking. So we all know how these NAC teams are visiting. Everything is suspended. Teaching is suspended. Everything is suspended. The entire university staff is focused on NAC. And then they're trying to get this higher NAC grading. And even in various reports have come, some corruption is also involved in that. So various kinds of reports have come in the media. I don't know the authenticity of those reports, but if this is really true, that is very sad. So now everybody in the ranking business. And naturally, the private players are getting the higher ranking because they can manipulate the data, and this ranking is based on data, and they can manage the system, etc. That is a different issue. I'm coming to the ranking of the universities. So ranking of the universities is the product of globalization, directly related to the globalization. It has started under the impact, under the influence of globalization. And you will be surprised to know that it was Chinese university which started this business of ranking. It was the Jiaotong University Shanghai. So Jiaotong University Shanghai in 2003, it is not very old thing. In 2003, the ranking business started. And Jiaotong University of Shanghai was the first university which came out with the academic ranking of the world universities. And there was only single parameter on which they ranked the universities, and that was the research outputs. By research outputs, how many research publications are there, how many citations are there, how many patents have been filed. So based on the patent filing, based on the research publication, based on the citation, etc., the data which can be easily collected, which is quantifiable data. So they came up with the ranking of the universities in 2003. But the Jiaotong ranking became hugely popular. So Western serious player also entered. And the first to entered in this business in the West were the Time and QSA. So the Time Higher Education, and QS. So they came up with the ranking in 2004. It was joint ranking by Time and QS, and their methodology was better than Jiaotong's, and so they tried to broaden it, so expanding from research output, etc. So they also brought in some other parameters here. So and these Time and QS, they brought their ranking up to 2010. In 2010, the QS and Time separated. So from 2010 onwards, now the QS is bringing its ranking separately, and Time is bringing its ranking separately. And now the whole world relies on the QS and Time ranking. And we all know that our universities, our education institutions were ranked very poorly. Most of it, they were not covered. Even 1,000, very few Indian institutions can come into it. And top 200, probably no one was there. So because of this reason and this demand for a ranking under the globalization process and the market process, etc., India also started this its ranking thing, and now we all aware this NIRF ranking, National Institutional Ranking Framework, NIRF. So now in NIRF framework, India is ranking its own 100 universities, leading universities, and probably your Mizoram University is one of the 100 universities, probably 42 NIRF ranking you have. But not, we have 1,000 universities, means 900 universities are out of this ranking. So you can imagine that these 900 which been left out of this ranking of NIRF, they must be trying to get into this top 100. So there is a stiff competition to get the NIRF ranking. Nike is there. So now the quality is being assessed and etc. So all this is quality control, quality assessment, ranking. All this is a market-driven process, because market wants to know who are the best in the market here, because that brand is created here. Now, ranking is good. I support ranking, but with a question mark here. My argument is that the academic leaders, the university leaders, academic leaders who are wasting so much time on this ranking, better they should focus their attention on the teaching and research in their university there. If teaching and research is improved, naturally the ranking will improve instead of resorting to various kinds of ethical and ethical practices, etc. So, and even my another argument is that before 2003, when Jiaotong has not come up with the ranking, and 2004 when the Time and QS started ranking. So before that, even before that also, we knew that who are the best in the world. The Harvard and this Cambridge and the Oxford, MIT, They were there, and we all knew, the whole world knew that who are the best in them. They were not depending upon the QS ranking, the Time ranking, and the Geotong University ranking, and NIF ranking. The best were known. Even in India also, we knew that JNU is good university, and DU is the good university, BHU is good university, and Hyderabad University is good university. It is not dependent upon an IRF ranking. That if an IRF will rank only, then they will be good. So this is all market. This is all market gimmicks here. So why one should waste too much time on this? We, even before 2003, we knew who are the best in the market, who are best in the field. I will not use the word market because market is a globalization word. I will use the word field, who are the best in their field, in their sphere. So it was known even before ranking also. The academic leaders should not run after the ranking as it is happening. It is a common practice, not in India. It's a global practice here. But then again, I'm not throwing a baby with the bathwater. The ranking is important. Important in the sense because if you want to send your children for higher education, India, abroad, anywhere, so you can't personally visit all the universities in India, all the universities abroad. So the easiest method is just to look at the ranking, that which university is better ranked. So there you can take an informed decision whilst deciding that where your son and daughter will study. So here ranking is important, is useful. By sitting at one place, you can find out which are the best in India. We have annual ranking of the universities by Outlook magazine, by India Today magazine, magazine. And we have an IRF other ranking also. At the global level also it is happening. There are many weeklies like Time, Newsweek, etc. They also bring the ranking of the global universities, institutions. So ranking here is important, facilitating the parents and the students to take the informed decision where they will study. Secondly, for the corporate world also, for the donor also, because many corporates, they are liberally donating their money to various universities because health and education, these are the two fields where most of the donation goes there. So when giving their money under the corporate social responsibility, CSR, in many countries it is mandatory also. In India, probably 3 or 5% of the profit has to be given in the CSR. In some countries mandatory, and many corporates are doing on their own, not because of government compulsion, spending a particular amount of money under the CSR. So while the corporate or the donor, anyone who wants to donate and wants every donor wants that its money should be utilized properly. It should be spent properly. No donor wants that it's a donation, it's a grant, the money it is giving, it should be wasted and it should be misused there. So here for the donors also, for the corporate also, ranking becomes important while allocating the money to different institutions. And then it becomes convenient for the government also, because they can also decide while allocating the funds for the higher education that better ranked universities or better ranked institutions will get the larger funding, etc. So ranking becomes important for the government, for the corporates, for the other donors, for all the philanthropic people, and for the parents also to take the informed decision. So ranking, in that way, I support ranking. As I said earlier, we can't throw the baby with the bathwater. So ranking in that way is important. So I have covered almost all aspects of the globalization. If anything has been left, so you are free to ask the questions. And even if I have said something you don't agree or disagree, so you are also welcome. So you can ask the questions related to that also. So over to the organizers, Professor Bhartendu Singh, I can see is there. Dr. Manoj Kumar Verma has switched off his audio, and so he's not visible, but Bhartendu ji is there. So over to Bhartendu ji.
Good morning, sir. Sir, so far no question. One question is there from Shreya Mukhopadhyay. How the degree certificate will be given in case of twinning course during course mobility?
In training course, I said that when the institutions are entering into this kind of thing, so they sign the MOU, Memorandum of Understanding. And in the MOU, they agree that suppose it is a master's program of 4 semesters. So they, in the MOU itself, they agree that 2 semesters will be taught in that particular country, host country, and 2 semester will be taught in the foreign country. In the same way, it can be 1 semester, it can be 3 semesters, depending upon the memorandum of understanding. And then the degree, it can be the joint degree by both the universities where the student have studied, and it can be the degree by one university also, depending upon the MOU. So when the training course is started, so in the training course, they enter into agreement, and as per their terms and conditions of the agreement, this course is offered. And one thing, while it is not only training, this mobility of the research and other things happening through collaborative research also, because collaborative also, some part of research we do in India, some part of research we do in other countries. Coronavirus, the vaccine was developed within a record time, because last time the Spanish flu came, the vaccine was developed after a decade. After it took 10 years. But this time, the coronavirus vaccine was developed because many institutions collaborated. There was a vaccine nationalism also. Many countries were not, but there were cooperation, collaborations also. So training is one where the courses are moving, and the research is also, some part of research is done this country, some parts have done research. Even the Wuhan laboratory, which were doing the research, it is with the research was being funded by the America, because America was they had their laboratory in Atlanta. They stopped this research in Atlanta, and they outsourced it to China. So now this kind of research is also happening. Some part in this country, some part other country, and the courses are also moving here and there. So as far as how it is decided, certificate, it all depends upon the terms and conditions laid down in the agreement which these 2 countries have signed. Okay, sir.
Yeah, sir. One another attendee, he is asking one question about the. I belong to the state in India where corruption in academic, both public and private sector, is an open secret, and recruitment process are the right that the best people choose to be outside the state and pre-use their career. The parent and the youth confidence on existing teacher are at the lowest, and thousands of the students choose to go outside of the state of higher education for higher study, even though the fee are cheaper in our state. How should we push factor be addressed?
The government is already seized with this issue, and now say that in every course ethics. I think you must be having some course on ethics also.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, some will be speaking on ethics. So these are ethical issues, and so ethics has to be there, and government is already seized with this thing, and various kinds of mechanism have been adopted to curb this practice. But it is the failure of all. We all are responsible. You can't blame any one person. You can't blame any institution. Institutions and any mechanism, any procedure, any process is designed by us, made by us. So whether these process, these mechanism, these institutions are working well, it all depends upon us. So so while accusing others, we have to do the soul searching also, because if you are saying that there's a nepotism, there's a corruption in the recruitment and etc. So it is, we all people are getting involved in it. So we all are responsible. I don't hold anyone responsible for it. We all are responsible. No one can be spared. And government is already aware of this fact. And that is why even in your curriculum also, now there is a more focus on ethics. When I was a student at that time, that ethics was not there. Now ethics is being taught everywhere. In the research methodology, there is one course on ethics. We have to give the declaration in our research that it is our own work, it is not plagiarized, etc., etc. So So we have to bring a transparency, we have to bring honesty, etc. in our life. So not only ethics should be taught, we should also be trained, and we should do some soul searching and some course correction. Only then will happen. But everybody is responsible. I hold everyone responsible for this message. Not even a single person, not even a single institution, not a single law or procedure can be held responsible for this message.
Sir, one Subodh Prasad Rajak, he is asking your view, one statement he has given. Many communist thinkers call globalization as neo-imperialism. In the same way, maybe we can say that globalization of higher education is the future will work as a tool on dominance of Western culture and capitalist value in the name of globalization in higher education, because all of us know about the theory of hegemony given by Antonio Gramsci, who gave more emphasis on the superstructure and education in important part of the superstructure. He wants your views, sir, on this.
As far as globalization is concerned, when globalization project started in after the end of Cold War, when the unipolar world came into existence, so everybody was treating it as an American project, it is a capitalist project, and many communist thinkers said that this globalization is the last phase of capitalism, because the communists have always been changing their goals, because they said earlier that capitalism is the last phase of globalization. Then Lenin said no, imperialism is the last phase of capitalism, and then many Marxist thinkers said no, globalization is the last phase of capitalism. Anyway, but if you see when the globalization project started in 1990 with the disintegration of Soviet Union, with the end of bipolarity, when the unipolarity came into and American dominance was visible. So many institutions were created, WTO and others, and it was thought that probably America is benefiting and America is promoting this project of globalization. But after 20 years, now America itself is realizing that they are losing from globalization. It is the China which has gained from globalization. It is the third world countries who are gaining from globalization. It is India which is gaining from globalization. It is because of globalization, India has become the hub of the software services. So now India is the global hub of this service. So now Americans are feeling that services has been outsourced to India and the manufacturing has been outsourced to China because of this globalization. So now Donald Trump has reversing the process of globalization. Surprisingly, it is China which is the greatest defender of WTO, not America. Now America even is thinking of quitting the WTO, which was created by America. Even there was a lot of opposition from in India also. The communists said that India should not become the member of WTO. So there was a lot of opposition. India taking the membership of WTO. But now America is feeling that all the institutions of globalization which America created, WTO is one, and other mechanism, other process, etc. So it is China which has benefited, it is India which has benefited. As I said, that services has gone to India, manufacturing has gone to America. Now American economy is losing, they are losing the job, they are losing the revenue, they are losing the domination also. Now China is threatening to overtake American economy. Now the gap between Chinese economy and American economy is increasingly getting reduced here. China is probably $15-16 trillion economy, and America is at 2021, something like that. So now the gap has been reduced very much, and now many economists are saying that in the next 10-20 years, probably China will overtake American economy in terms of GDP. So these things no one visualized when globalization was started, and now because America is treated as the leader of the capitalist world. So now this globalization project was the part of neoliberalism, because neoliberalism, in between we have positive liberalism of John Maynard Keynes and etc., when state has some role. But now in this neoliberalism, Everything has been taken over by the market, and the state has withdrawn itself here. But now, even in this is the withdrawal of the state also, I don't agree with this view also, because the state has withdrawn only from providing the services. But the state has not withdrawn from this regulation function. And probably it's a regulatory framework is more robust and more important here. Now privatization of education is happening, but the UGC is there, NAC is there, many global institutions are there. So regulatory framework is there. You have telecom regulatory, you have many regulatory. So in the globalization, that the state has no role. No, state has role. State regulatory function has gone up. States directly providing this delivery of the services. From there, state has withdrawn. So here again, the second argument that now everything has been taken over by control, it is also not true. The regulatory function of the state, I think it has increased rather than come down. You see, UGC is coming out with various kind of regulations every day. Sometimes university are very unhappy that why they are reducing the funding but increasing the regulations here. So many are resenting also. Yeah, when reducing the funding, you reduce the regulations also, but that is not happening here. So yes, it was a project of America. It was a project of neoliberalism. But the result, the outcome has been beneficial to China, beneficial to India. And you will be surprised now, the greatest defender of globalization is not America. The greatest defender of globalizations are China and India, because they are benefiting from it.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Sir, one last question. Tanusri Kundu, she is asking, how do you perceive the NAC ranking and its credibility in higher education?
Your perception is my perception. Tanusri ji, what is your perception? My perception, sir. So, I don't want to take the name, but recently some universities have got ranking, and those universities are in my states. Their ranking is higher than JNU, DU, and this Institute of Sciences, Bangalore. So these state universities have got a higher ranking, A++, probably highest possible, A double plus or triple plus, I don't know, but this is the highest possible ranking here. And they have got, and these state universities. So this and the NAC grade of Indian Institute of Sciences, Bangalore, Jawaharlal Nehru University, Delhi University, Hyderabad, etc., is lower. So the credibility itself is a big question mark here. So you know it well. So I agree with you.
Yeah, she is again messaging sir ki, yes, that's why I am asking sir, because of this recent development, what she came to know by the newspaper. So, sir, in this way, I think sir, Subodh Prasad Rajak is your student. He just messaged me. I am a student of Professor T.P. Singh. So, sir, so in this way, sir, we are reaching at the end. Hello. 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 I think in last moment some problem with sir network. So sir left. Okay. So dear participant, please wait 10 minutes. The next speaker will join. Okay. And one important announcement. Today, after last class, around 4, please listen carefully. After last class, most probably 4 or 5, we are arranging one online meeting with participant. Okay. As a coordinator and Professor Bharatendra Singh co-coordinator, we will have one online meeting to discuss with you about your test and assignment, how you are going to complete your things, and we want to listen your suggestions if you want some change, some improvement. Okay, so for that meeting, to make you online, I will share you in this and in this chat box, as well as in your WhatsApp group, I will share a new link. So when your last class will complete, means over, you switch up, you log on, log off from this, and you join by new link, so that your audio and video will appear. Okay, I hope you understand what I want to convey. Okay, so I will share in the after lunch, I will share one link. That link is for the meeting. Okay, today after last class 4 o'clock, we are fixing the meeting. Okay, so you note down your queries, your questions. Today you have time to interact with us. Okay, so all the participants, you are requested to be present in that meeting. Okay, please wait, and for the next speaker, within 5 minutes, 10 minutes, he may join. Yeah, sir, I think some network issue you are there in last moment.
Sorry, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry.
Yeah. So no, sir, this is technical issue. So now, sir, we are into the last, and now the formal thanks I have to offer. Thank you so much, sir, for giving your valuable time and very highlighting the very important issue related to the higher education, which is that nowadays it is a part of the discussion, day-to-day discussion of all the academic persons. We are discussing globalization, how foreign university will come, how they will open the university. So really your lecture is very useful and very informative for all of us to understand the government policy, what government think, what is their policy. With this, sir, thank you so much, sir, for giving your valuable time and sharing your expertise, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Manoj. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, I am here, you, sir. I am here.
Yeah, so thank you so much. It was a great pleasure. I am sorry because of some network issue. Last minute I got disconnected.
Yeah.
But I had completed my lecture by that time, and I think I have answered the questions also.
Yeah. All the queries you have answered, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was a great pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye.
So, light cut.